of South Africa's leading designers at this year's Decorex Cape Town, where 100% Design Africa Local Pavilion will be unveiling the new reflections. And now it will be running from those dates at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. It's a curated showcase bringing together standout creatives who are shaping the future of local design. What's really exciting is fashion designers collaborating with some home decor designers as well. I'm talking here about, from the bold lighting of Mash T Design Studio and Greg Marshall to African Jacquard's Sea Cell Textiles and Fashion Meets Furniture by Curation, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, collection and uniform. The pavilion will be highlighting the depth and diversity, certainly talent of local talent. We are joined on the line by Alan Hayward as well as Gareth van Niekerk, and they are executive creative directors of Decorex Africa. Gareth, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hello, good, and you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And Alan,
great to be on your show.
Alan, thank you very much for joining us as well.
Fantastic, thank you.
Gareth, let me start with you. Let's talk about what inspired the theme New Reflections for this year's pavilion.
I think South African design, and in particular the continent, South Africa within the continent, has never really been more under the spotlight. And I think our designers are rising to the challenge, and I think the whole world is looking at us for where design could go. And I think our designers are really looking back to their past and looking forward to the future and finding ways that those stories come together in what I think is a collection of some of the most exciting design brands and design names and design pieces in the country. And yes, I think we're reflecting. We're having this very kind of thoughtful time to consider where we're going and where we've come from.
And Alan, from furniture to fashion, there's such a variety in this year's showcase. How do you go about choosing who gets featured?
Well, with this particular showcase, what we try to do is try to give people a sense of the length and breadth of the decor and design scene in South Africa. So we have, established names like Mash T, who's known for her beaded lighting. Yeah. She is probably one of the most successful brands in South Africa. Yeah. And then we also have kind of more up-and-coming brands doing an interesting collaboration, curation collection, doing an interesting fabric collaboration on their furniture with a company called Uniform, which is Luke Radloff, who is a fashion designer. And then we have kind of lots of bits and pieces in between. But really what we did is we kind of have a cheeky take on New Reflections as being something that's kind of shiny and chromy, and that's what you're going to see at the show, this kind of curated, shiny, futuristic looking pavilion.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's talk.
Giving away too many secrets, Alan.
That made me really smile. It's unlike anything I was expecting, and that's why when Alan was talking about shiny futuristic, I thought, oh, okay, that's really exciting. Gareth, let's talk about sustainability. It is a hot topic in the world of design today. How do designers in the pavilion then incorporate sustainable practices?
I think what a big approach, while there's this very big focus on sustainable materials and sustainable production, I think first and foremost amongst the collection of designers on the project is that they're really trying to imagine heirlooms and how pieces, as long as they're made really well and with really the highest quality materials you can get, things should be designed to last a lifetime and hopefully much longer than your lifetime. And so I think the approach towards sustainability at this moment, I think, is most exciting in the way that people are really considering how things can live on long after you've made them.
And Alan, in your opinion, how do you think South African design has evolved up until this point right now? And is it going to be reflected at this year's lineup?
So Gareth and I were recently in Milan for Salon de Mobile, which is the big design fair in Italy. And we looked at hundreds of different brands and kind of compared them to what we have at home here in South Africa and Africa at large. And we're very excited that we feel like not only do South Africans have a very particular aesthetic voice, but also a very exciting voice. I feel like there's a kind of can-do attitude that I find with so many African creatives that give real excitement to the pieces and to the brands.
Yeah.
You know, there's a kind of cultural aesthetic that kind of runs through, you know, the historical things through different people in Africa, and I think that really comes through. So I feel like we are on the best place that we've ever been. I think our designs are exciting, and you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of that in Decorex on whole, but also on this particular pavilion.
Gareth, do you have any personal favorite pieces or designers at the pavilion this year?
I will be murdered. I'll be murdered if I say anything.
I knew that's a facetious question to be asking.
But I think those shiny things that Alan are talking about. I think this collaboration between Luke Radloff for curation and the guys from Curation Collection is going to be really push the envelope. I think there's a bit of feathering, there's a bit of chrome. I think it's going to be a bit of an Instagram sensation. But I think there's also just perennial pieces by some really young, exciting designers that you've seen lots of pictures of, but may have never seen in real life. And those are the sort of things I think people are going to leave super excited about.
Oh. And Alan, for someone who's never been to Decorex before, what can they expect as soon as they walk through the pavilion in terms of experiences, the layout? What can they expect?
So Decorex is in the exhibition center in Cape Town. It is a huge exhibition. It's broken down into different sections. We have a 100% designs section, which is focused on the best of local furniture and design. Then we have a decor section, which is look at small kind of artworks and different decor items for your home. Then we also have builds, so kitchens, bathrooms, windows, all sorts of things like that if you're building a house or you are somewhere involved in the built environment. And then this year we've added also a design market. So that is 40 stands of kind of small SMMEs that are making design products. And we have a whole range of different things like that. So there's something for everyone. But, you know, my favorite part about going to Decorex is being able to get a real overview of the entire design and building industry in a single afternoon or a single day. So if you're building, it's the best place to be. Come and get a whole lot of business cards and get yourself set up.
Alan, you spoke earlier about how exciting the South African design voice is right now, right? They have this can-do attitude. Talk to us about how you see events like Decorex then also influencing international perceptions about South Africa's design.
So, you know, as Decorex Africa, we are really trying to conceptually bring more African brands, not only South African brands, but other African brands into Decorex. So our designers of the year this year for Cape Town is from Egypt, Reform, and then we have Charles Job, who is a Nigerian, and he will be our Decorex Johannesburg designer of the year.
Nice.
But what we're trying to do is really trying to have a place in Africa for design that you don't see represented in Europe or America or other places in the world. So I think Decorex is the only real home for African design at the moment, and we would like to be further deepening our relationship with African brands so that people from all over the world can come to Decorex Africa and see what the whole continent has to offer.
And Gareth, how can everyday people, not the industry pros, but how can the everyday person engage meaningfully with local designers in growing their brands?
Growing their brands, I mean, I think first and foremost, put your money where your mouth is. I think that you vote with the things that you buy, and I think every decision you can make to support a local business has such a knock-on effect for the growth of the industry. And so I would say, wherever possible, if you can buy a scatter cushion from a local designer, buy a scatter cushion. If you can buy a piece of furniture, then do. But I think even if you want to just kind of take inspiration, I think it's time that as Africans, we start looking at our own lives and the way we live, and our homes and our spaces should be reflective of that. So even if you can't afford or decide that you want to make that decision just yet, I think you should be looking at yourself and going, how does my story affect the way that my space looks and the way that I live and the things I choose to gather around myself? Because they tell a story about you, and you should be telling a story about yourself that is reflective of where you come from.
Alan, the Decorex Johannesburg will be taking place later on in the year, July, I believe. What are the main differences? So for a person who has the luxury of attending either one, what would you say the big draw is, compared to the Johannesburg one?
There are Decorex Johannesburg is a lot bigger than Decorex Cape Town. We are all 4 floors of the Santa Convention Center in Joburg. A lot of the brands will be repeating what they are doing in Cape Town and Johannesburg, but then there will be additions. We have a talks program called Future Talks. We will be running Future Talks Cape Town and Future Talks Johannesburg. Obviously, they'll have different speakers. So that is an incredible way to really get the pulse of what's happening in design in South Africa. So that would be a good thing to attend on both. But then also we have different restaurants, and we've got different, kind of consumer-facing activities in both different cities. And, it doesn't matter where you are, it's still going to be a great day out. We really think that you could probably come to Decorex 2 or 3 times on the weekend and see completely different things.
Guilty as
quite
charged.
Easily. Absolutely. So, you can bring your friends and your husband and someone else, and you will still have a good time doing different things. Come to our champagne bar, come and have lunch with us. There's lots of different, interesting, amazing things happening.
Oh, love it. And Gareth, where can people get tickets? Are we able to get them by the door, or do we need to buy them online?
You can buy them at the door, and you can buy them at decorex.co.za. And they are, just Google Decorex Africa. The tickets are available and live now. And but like Alan says, bring as many friends as you can, because it's a beautiful day out.
Yeah, no, it really, really is. Definitely one of those events annually that one has to attend, just to also see what's happening out there. And the people that attend as well. Just fabulous. Alan and Gareth, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Everything of the best for the Cape Town leg.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. See you there.
That is Alan Hayward and Gareth van Niekerk. They are executive creative directors at Decorex Africa. Do check them out if you are in Cape Town, or if you are, I would certainly travel for Decorex
that
Cape
weekend.
Town. Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a fantastic weekend out.
Yeah.
It really is.
We went to the Joburg one last year.
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, I'm there every year.
You